What's going on, guys? Me, Matt, here with my brother Ryan. And if you haven't watched our offensive line video, go check that out. And in that video, we talked about how the offensive line and defensive line were in very similar positions. And unfortunately for us, that is football. Football is the line of scrimmage, and they just happen to be two weakest position groups. And a lot of it, most of it is recruiting reasons. We haven't really been able to land these big 5 stars, and even if we do land them, they decommit about a month later. We haven't been able to get anyone from the portal, which money definitely has something to do with it, but at a certain point, something's got to change. We are at such a bad place where I can't even confidently list the starters. Like we kind of just don't have a defensive tackle. Like Bear is our nose tackle, and you can just take your choice with sophomore Elijah Hughes, who I kind of like, Kobe Pepe, who just wasn't even in the rotation last year with that D line. That's kind of where we're at. We're gonna move Nate Clifton inside again. We saw what happened with Sullivan last year, kind of similar players. The outside there is potential, I guess. Lucas was a nobody last year, but I mean he has upside. Shelby, I do love. That's the one bright spot, and that's just pure potential. Muhammad's a nice player, but he cannot be a Big Ten defensive end. Big Ten defensive ends just don't look like that. Um, Another bright spot is Fallon is a freshman. Maybe he'll come in. Overall, the edge room has a lot of potential. As I just said, Shelby, Fountain, Sam Green, all young kids I like. Bear is a great player, but not quite the superstar I think we know. Um, it's not looking good. I'm not gonna lie. We kind of joked about how like in the spring game it was a bad O line versus a bad D line, and what were we supposed to get out of that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like it was either a push, the offensive line got a push, or Cameron Fountain dodged 2 blocks and got a tackle for a loss
Yeah.
because he's just an athletic freak. So not looking great. What do you think about the D line?
Yeah. I mean, there's. It's weird. There is simultaneously very little hope, but also a weird sense of like, hey, we could kind of be good, but it's relying on true freshmen, not just one.
Yep.
Jide Abasiri is like a big one for in the like SC fans that are in a little too deep. He's put on like 40 pounds
Yeah, he looks
since
massive.
it's insane. But he's a true freshman and super raw. But he's powerful. I think they're probably gonna like they have him listed at 290. Jesus Christ, he was recruited. I'm just seeing this now. He was recruited at like 250. I think like literally
Yeah,
he's at 291 now. Um, so yeah, I'm sure he's gonna get looks as a tackle, and they're gonna hope he sticks. Carlin Jones, another freshman who's gonna be sitting around the low 300s. I think. He was a legit like pretty high recruit, high caliber recruit. Um, Cam Fountain, like you mentioned, he flashed some legitimate skills. Braylon Shelby is not a true freshman, but he might as well be. He played like 4 snaps in the last season. They're impactful. Like he caused a forced fumble. Like he has Braylon Shelby is kind of like a game, like a season defining player to me because
yep.
he has day one NFL draft potential, size, length, like measurements. All of that is like it's very real, but he's young and he's an edge player at the end of the day. Like if you can't hold up down the middle, edge production is very hard to come by, which we've seen. Like Thule 2 years ago had to be moved inside and outside everywhere to get his production because if he stayed on the outside or like like if he stayed in a single position, he would be screwed, and the defense would be screwed. So yeah, I it's a weird case where it's very dire circumstances because the recruiting we just lost 2 5 stars. Like we thought things were turning around, and kind of the same story as last season. Um, Big, massive, like massive recruits from Georgia get what seemed to be a small bag from SC to commit, and then decommit and get the big bag that SC refuses to give out from Georgia. Just plain and
Yep.
simple.
Yeah, it's this unit just completely breaks my heart because we have Bear coming back, great player. Shelby, looks like an NFL player. He could be special. Just get a nose tackle that could help bear out so much and an edge rusher. Heck, not even an edge rusher. You just get a nose tackle. You're looking at, okay, this D line could be good. You know, Clifton, Lucas, one of those guys can figure it out on the edge. Be great. If Shelby is like a legit great pass rusher, Bear gets in the backfield, the nose tackle, eat up space. But it just didn't happen. Like I hate being so negative. These past all three videos I've been negative. That's frankly just how I feel. I'm always such a positive fan. It feels really weird. It's just, but I mean, I have no unless I'd have to be stupid to be positive right now. Like genuinely, that's we're bad in the trenches. That's just how it is. We were awful last year, and we didn't add anyone. I don't think Deanton Lynn's gonna fix that. I don't think Henny's gonna fix that. As much as I like him, I mean, I'm hoping. Like, for the past two videos, I've tried to think, okay, how could this be good? Shelby has to be like a freaking All American. Like, he has to be an NFL guy. Bear has to be an NFL guy, and then Hughes has to like take a massive step up. Maybe Jai as a freshman takes some huge leap, and then Lucas taps into like high school potential. That then you could say, okay, that's a good team. Guess what? If that happens, you're not even a high talented at the top, and we just don't really have any depth besides edge room. Inside, we have absolutely no depth at all. If Bear Alexander gets hurt, we probably win 5 games this year, and that's not even an exaggeration. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just that's kind of like in my mind, realistic. Let's say I'm a UCLA fan. I'm just some random fan. I can picture watching Bear get in the backfield. They absolutely push whoever's inside, Hughes, Clifton, Pepe. They blow him back. Massive hole, running backs run through it. And then Mascarenas misses a tackle 60 yards.
Yeah.
I can just envision that happening every single play. And we have watched that the past 2 years, unless Thule or Bear made an incredible play. And it just kind of feels like the same thing. I do think Lynn will make an impact. I mean, you can only coach so much. At a certain point, you got to get players, and right now we just don't really have the unit to do that.
Yeah, I think you made two strong points there. I'll start with the positive one. Actually, no, I'll start with the negative one so we can end on a positive note. You talked about the depth. When Isaiah Rakes transferred out, there were SC fans delusional enough to be like, "Oh, he got processed out because we're getting some big fish." Who do you think is coming to USC? That's the first question. Second question, why do you think we would let go of a body type we have not had since Pete Carroll was the coach, or since the Leonard Williams era defensive line that we had, when we have no other player that can play as a genuine nose tackle? Why would we process that guy out? Even if we were getting freaking Mason, or what the hell's Michael Williams from Georgia, and he was coming for sure, whatever stupid crap they were convincing themselves. Why would we get rid of a backup player? We rotate. Every defensive line in the entire world rotates players. Why would we do that? Anyway, that really upset me. I don't think we've made an SC video since he's transferred. So just seeing SC fans trying to cope, be like, "Oh, he got processed. It's okay. I don't think he was showing out too well." I don't think they understand the defense that they were complaining about last year. Anyway, that's the negative, upset aside apart. A genuine potential for positive is that the point you made about coaching. It is true that there's a limit to like it. You can max out someone's potential, but if they don't have that much potential, what are you really getting from it? I think there's some very legitimately talented players. I think I have to say that Anthony Lucas is talented. If I'm being honest, I haven't seen that once in the 2 seasons he's been here. 2 seasons, right? I'm
No,
tripping.
he's had one so
Well,
far.
1 season. Okay, maybe just the spring game felt like the second season, and it didn't change the way I thought about him. But physically, he could have something. He put the weight on that he lost, I think, at least a little bit back on. Um, he was a 5 star. It's something like Henny could get something out of him. I don't know, but the reality is, Lynn Henny, the defensive line coach, excuse me, the defensive backs coach that's whose name's escaping me, um, and
Doug
Matt
Bell.
Ants as the linebacker coach. Like all of these people should be legitimately good at their jobs. So if you believe in development, which I do, like college football is 100% about development. Like you have to recruit, but if you don't develop anybody, you're Texas A&M. Um, I believe in the power of developing players, but I think the talent level of this defense was so bad that the lack of talent influx is going to severely limit the impact that the coaching can have. Just being completely transparent. We haven't talked about the linebackers, and I won't start a new conversation. I'm as low on the linebacker core. I don't even want to call it a core. The linebacker players that are there, as I've been about a single position group in SC in a long time. Like I just in terms of expectations for the season, like because the Helton teams we knew were gonna suck, but like we think or there are SC fans that think that this team can still compete for the Big Ten year one. I need you guys to wake up and look at who's playing linebacker this year. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, what breaks my heart is like genuinely a great staff, genuinely a great secondary. To
Yeah,
me, we're like
secondary is
3 to 4
elite.
bodies away from like being a pretty good defense. We're a nose tackle, another tackle for depth, and an upgraded linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're solid. We're a pretty good team, good secondary. But we just didn't get anyone in the portal, and this is what we're left with. We were right there. We were so close to me feeling good, and it's just there's been no talent in. So if I mean just literally speaking, if you hated last year's defense because the talent was awful, how are you supposed to feel about this year? A little better because the coaching staff. I'm also feeling a little better, but we had the worst defense ever in USC history. Having upgraded coach isn't going to take you from the 130th best defense to the 50th best defense. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, yeah. Mason Cobb is not gonna all of a sudden not get blown off his block or be spacey. Or actually, you know what? Maybe that is what a genuinely good coach can do. They can get a fifth year senior to start being able to read plays like a linebacker. This is a defensive line video, and I'm talking about Mason Cobb. He haunts me. Um, but I mean, sarcasm aside, like this is a genuinely good staff. And you mentioned the D backs, they're good. They're really like I think they have the potential to be good enough that they like coverage sacks are a real thing, which just it was not at even a little bit last year. Especially with like the general lack of receiver talent on the more on like the non Ohio State kind of Penn State ish, and I guess now Michigan, like the big three of the Big Ten. Outside of that, there's not really a lot of receiver talent. Oh, wait, never mind. No, Oregon and Washington are here too. Whatever. The point is, I think we have legitimate talent at defensive back, which can help the line out. But the linebacker core is so bad that this defensive line has to dominate some plays. And then the plays they don't dominate, they cannot get blown away. Because if they get blown into the linebackers, it's 25, 30 yards. Literally, the scenario
Yep.
you said. It's going to be chunk play after chunk play. Because I do not trust these linebackers to do anything, truthfully.
Yeah, that is the downside, and that's the realistic side. The one potential you could say is Shelby becomes All American, Lucas taps into something, Muhammad, Fountain is a freshman, Sam Green, and you can have a good pass rush, and you have a good pass defense with the defensive backs. But in a extremely red and heavy conference, you're not looking good at in the interior, and you're not looking good at linebacker. So
Yeah. The only hope for this year is that teams like Wisconsin and Nebraska continue trying to be an air raid team for some reason. Like Wisconsin doing that last year was hilarious to me. And yeah, and if we can get into more passing downs, I do think there's legit enough pass rushing talent that could be actually disruptive. Otherwise, it's a lot of I really hope Kobe Pepe is a good player now. Like that's where we're at. Or else it's gonna be Bear and Braylon Shelby like hoping that they finally get a 3rd and 8. So yeah, uh, we're here, LA Sports Brotherhood. A lot more videos coming out. Hope you stick around for them. See you soon. Peace.